Hello and welcome to the TankSpot Crusaders Colosseum Raid Guide. My name is Eliana, and in this video I'll go over the strategy that we use for the heroic 25-man version of Northrend Beasts, the first encounter in the heroic Trial of the Crusader raid instance. If you would like more information or would like to learn more about downloading this movie, click more info on the movie information box on YouTube to head directly to TankSpot. Also, be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button to the right. You will be automatically notified as we release movies that way. In the heroic Northrend Beasts encounter, you won't be faced with any brand new abilities, but you are instead presented with a very tight enrage timer of approximately 520 seconds, or 8.7 minutes, as well as very hefty damage increases. Additionally, every mob in the encounter, including snowballs, gain around 30% more health. You fight the same enemies as on normal mode in all three phases, but while a new enemy only appears after you defeat the last one on normal mode, they're on a set spawn timer in the heroic version. Approximately 150 seconds after engaging the event, Acid Maw and Dradscale will spawn, and 340 seconds after engaging the event, Ciderhelm joins the fight. This is a very tight time limit, and you may have to be prepared to pick up new incoming enemies while finishing off the prior beast. First, let's talk about the changes to the Gormork portion of the encounter. The most dangerous part about Gormork is the extreme amounts of tank damage that he deals. He will use his Impale ability every 10 seconds on the highest threat target. Impale now deals 150% weapon damage and puts a 5k bleed on the target that ticks every 2 seconds for 45 seconds. This effect stacks, and it's highly dangerous to have tanks take more than 2 stacks of the debuff. To avoid incredible damage spikes, it's advised to use a 3-tank rotation with a new tank taunting every 29 seconds. Alternatively, it's doable to take 2 tanks, have them take 3 stacks, and use Busting of Protection on them after the other one taunts. This gives you room to take another DPS class, but greatly increases the chances of tank deaths. Finding a way to reliably deal with Impale stacks is the most important part about Phase 1. Killing snowballs as quickly as possible is also of utmost importance. They effectively prevent any caster they attach to from casting any non-instant spell, and you won't really have any extra time to kill them on the phase change, so getting rid of them as they spawn seems the smartest way to deal with them. Lastly, Staggering Stomp now hits for approximately 12,000 damage instead of 9,000, and the Snowball's firebombs deal 8,000 damage per second instead of 6,000. Additionally, they place a dot on you that ticks for 2,000 every 2 seconds for 20 seconds. After 150 seconds, Acid Maw and Dradscale will join the fight. Have tanks ready to pick them up even if you're still working on Gormork. The same general buffs apply to those two, and with a tight enrage timer, it's important that this phase is executed correctly and you don't lose any raid members. Your raid needs to make sure never to stand in front of a worm. Their frontal abilities hit a lot harder and can easily mean a death, especially for a caster. To properly minimize damage and chaos from Paralytic Toxin and Burning Bile, it's advised that every raid member pulls up their ranged frame and stays 10 yards away from everyone else. Both Paralytic and Burning Spray inflict around 15,000 damage in the heroic version, and the worst thing that can happen in this phase is either debuff spreading to multiple people. Make sure to always keep track of where a person with Burning Bile is in case you get hit by the toxin, and quickly move towards them as to not get completely paralyzed and die to the stacking debuff. The slime pools have their damage upped from 7,000 to 9,500 damage per second to anyone standing in it. This is especially dangerous for melee. No one can afford to take more than 2 ticks at all. They also stay up for a minute instead of 45 seconds, which means they end up covering more room, so try to move around them. As always, you want to kill Acid Maw before Dradscale. Once Acid Maw dies, Dradscale enrages and his debuffs get more menacing, but he should die fairly quickly. As in the last phase, have a tank ready to pick up Ciderhelm if you're lagging behind on DPS a bit. He'll join the fight approximately 340 seconds in. The biggest change to the Ice Howl phase is that you no longer gain a speed buff after he uses Massive Crash. If he focuses you or a raid member close to you, plan your fastest escape route, but make sure that no pillar is near you, and start moving as soon as possible. It's of utmost importance that Ice Howl never hits a raid member, because his frothing rage cannot be tranquilized on heroic mode, and you will need the increased damage he takes to beat the enrage timer. Other than that, Whirl now deals 14k damage instead of 10k, Arctic Breath inflicts 30,000 unmitigated damage instead of 20,000, and Ferocious Butt had its unmitigated damage up to 90,000. Use cooldowns as you see fit on this. Ranged DPS have to keep their distance to Ice Howl so they don't get caught in Whirl and lose valuable DPS time. I can't stress enough that the timer is very tight, so use every trick in the book to maximize raid DPS and most importantly, don't die. That about covers the heroic changes to the Northrend Beasts. Thanks for watching this movie. As always, feel free to ask questions or add any suggestions either on YouTube or in the strategy thread on TankSpot.com. Also, TankSpot donors can download all of these movies in high definition directly from our servers, so if you'd like to learn more about that, just click the second link in the movie information box.